week's episode of Seraph of the End. They might as well just give you the nickname of Van Helsing, because he's slaying vampires left and right. This week's episode was action-packed, made a great use of humor, and was very simple. But sometimes, simple is best, especially for a series like this. The first half of the episode is all about you and his friends going underground and completely laying waste to this vampire stronghold, all while at the same time saving this group of enslaved children who are being used as livestock by the vampires. This entire scene is really atmospheric because when they walk down into the tunnel for the very first time, the kids aren't even trying to escape. In fact, they're actually having to stay there. They have no choice because if they go up top, they're just going to get killed by all those crazy monsters, so they decide to stay below and they offer up their blood to the vampires. This does not sit well, of course, with you and their group, and they just decide to start killing every vampire that they run into. The first one in particular is great because it just shows how crazy frickin' Yu is. He just runs in and destroys this guy. They run into another group of them, which end up getting ambushed, and they all just completely destroy him with the power of friendship and teamwork and swords to the face and cutting things in half. It's a lot of fun, and it's a really great scene, and I like this scene too because we're finally getting all the bullcrap with Mitsuba not liking Yu. We're getting that out of the way. The problem is it also looks like it's getting ready to start like a love triangle between both Yu, Mitsuba, and Shinawa, and frankly, I just don't care. Give me more of the vampire action, and luckily, this week's episode does. In the second half of the episode, they're making their way to Shinjuku, and before they get there, there is this amazingly funny scene where we see a side of Yu that we've never seen before, and that's his childlike excitement when he sees Kimizuki working on this Hummer. And he's just so fascinated by the fact that he can actually start it up and actually drive it. And when Yu tries to drive this thing, he just ends up immediately driving it right into a street light. And then it leads to a scene where they finally go to Shinjuku, and as they're making their way in, there's this one noble vampire who's just walking like a badass up the street, and they decide to try and ram him with a car, but that doesn't work, and they decide to fight him. But this guy has like a class 1 super weapon. It looks even more like another Super Sentai Power Ranger weapon. I don't know, that's the way it looks to me. But I like the fact that it actually draws upon the blood of him and has like these weird spikes which come out of his hand. And this guy by the name of Lord Crowley just destroys them. Like, he's a freaking ninja. He just appears right behind them, constantly trying to attack. There's a scene where he tries to attack Shinawa, and then, of course, Yu jumps in and ends up deflecting his weapon away, which was honestly pretty impressive, and he seemed like that was pretty cool too, but this is one of those, like, noble vampire characters who show, like, very little emotion outside of the fact that they're extremely pompous. So I can't wait to see this guy actually get defeated, but he decides to make a quick escape because he's going to meet up with that other vampire Farid. But this scene was another demonstration of showing, like, even though our characters have these super-powered weapons, which are, like, called upon by the powers of demons, and they can do all this crazy stuff, there's still practically no match at all, like, for one of these, like, single Class 1 vampires with these, like, big super weapons. And that's a really important thing to learn because they're obviously going to have to use their teamwork a lot more, and that's, like, been one of the biggest themes of the show. It's definitely been shoved down our throats, but it really looks like it's going to be much more important as the series is going to go on. Obviously, Yu is going to have to learn to work with his team a little bit more and not try to be the White Knight the entire time. But still, it was a nice scene. Him saving Shinawa was great. It's pretty obvious they have feelings for each other, and that's something that's going to happen later in the series. Again, I don't care. Just give me some more freaking vampire action. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Seraph of the End? A very simple, fun, action-packed episode, which frankly, it's what I've been waiting for the entire time. The thing that I think is most interesting is just how different the tone of the series is now, and sort of like how it's evolved as the series has gone on, because it opened up really dark and really disturbing, and then we went to this like high school setting, and now we're out into this post-apocalyptic world, so we're seeing a lot of different parts of this, and I really think that's interesting. I can't wait to see what's going to go down in Shinjuku. I was like waiting for Mika to show up like any second in this episode. I know the minute I saw a noble, I was like, he has to be like close. There's no way he's far behind this guy, and I imagine we're getting really close to the first encounter between Mika and Yu, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with that, if they're going to do the whole Naruto Sasuke route, Kira, Athrin, Zala, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if they're gonna, like, go that route at all. So, I'm really interested to see what they're gonna do with the rest of the show. On the technical side of things, this week's episode looked okay. There were times when the action looked really good, and there were times when it looked kind of meh. Other than that, I also really like the music in this show. It's very strange. There's a lot of scenes where they make weird choices with music, and it seems like it clashes with what's going on, but in many ways it works, and I just like the way it sounds. Like when they're going down into the underground vampire tunnel at the beginning of the episode, how the music slowly intensified and just got even crazier and techno-y. It was really insane, and it almost seems like it didn't work with like the somber atmosphere, but I found myself really liking the music quite a bit. As far as just entertainment value goes, this is just another good episode of the series. Nothing mind-blowing, mind you. Again, I think this is just a fun, generic action anime that isn't breaking the mold on anything, but if you like vampires and you like anime and action, then you're gonna like this show. I mean, it's, like I said, nothing groundbreaking, but really fun to watch. Make some popcorn, grab a beer or soda, kick back, watch it with your friends. It's pretty good stuff. So I'm going to give this week's episode right here a 3 out of 5. It had some good action. It was a nice build up to some more of these noble characters, but nothing too crazy. But if you've been following the series, check it out. It's still a lot of fun. You might like it more than I do. If you read the manga version, check it out. You might see something you like. Thank you guys again for watching. So, you know that I like this one. I thought it was a pretty good episode, but what about you guys? Did you watch this week's episode of Seraph of the End? Did you have a favorite action scene? Do you have a new favorite character from the series? What do you hope to see from the rest of Seraph of the End? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it and share it with all of your friends. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.